Russell Hotel's going live just for a couple minutes. You guys know how I do it. Today is Monday. That can only mean one thing. Miss Tiffany English is here. She's joining us on Mondays like she always does. So we appreciate Miss Tiffany coming on and giving us her insight on certain things, or maybe things that she had been dealing with, or things that may be currently dealing with. I don't know. In that world of hotels, hospitality, and meetings and events. So welcome as always, Miss Tiffany. How are you today?
I'm good. Happy Monday.
Happy. Okay. Well, I need more energy because she came
Oh,
in. She came in with a
I
lot
said
of
happy
energy a while
Monday. That's
ago.
not enough energy.
Yeah, I need some more energy. But we're live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and uh, Instagram. Now I figured out this whole Instagram thing.
Okay.
So I don't think we're live, but it's recording, and then you have to, after this is over, I got to go back to Instagram and click something to download it, and then it'll be on Instagram. I don't really get it, but in fact, hold on one second. Let me see. Yeah, anyway. I don't know. There's so many things. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So anyway, we're live on those platforms. So just make sure if you guys want to make comments, you do so. The chat is right there. Just the chat is open. So just go ahead and click that. I'll see it, and then I'll read it, and we go from there. So anyway, what's going on, Miss Tiffany?
You know, Russell, it is the middle of December. Like I'm looking at my calendar right now. Like we are 2 weeks into the next year. So I'm like, I feel like there's this energy where people are scrambling to get things done and still doing things for the next year. So I'm kind of in limbo right now. Because this is my last week of like actual like real work. Because let's be honest, next week it's no meet, like we're not meeting about anything, we're not making decisions about things. So I'm really trying to do whatever I need to do and anything that's on my task list this week.
Okay, so you haven't checked out yet. You're saying you haven't checked out yet?
No, I got a full week. So
Okay,
yeah.
look at you. Okay, yeah. Very good, very good. I like that. So are you working on anything specific, or?
You know what? I really, so honestly, it's kind of just business as usual because I am still working on 2026 things, but I still need to wrap up 2025. So, and I always talk about, the difference between planning and strategy. So me and my event strategist mind is, no, we need to do a proper, recap of the year, see what went right, what went wrong. So that's what I really am trying to kind of push this week before I just wrap up and start again, for next year. It's a piece a lot of companies, a lot of brands, a lot of people miss that. They just, once they close one event, they just open another and keep going, but they don't evaluate, what happened with that event or even throughout the year. There's a lot of things that they do. It said, oh, you know what, we're going to make sure, we do this and this and this next year, but they don't, plan it. So I think this is the optimal time to really reflect on, what your event process was this year. Did it meet your goals? Did it, is there something you wish you would have done better? Do you need to put aside some budget for next year because you couldn't do something that you wanted to do this year, but you want to do next year? So this is such a pivotal time to reflect on that now, as opposed to, next year. So that's on my end to do. But yeah.
Does that come along with you being an event strategist and not a planner? Because some planners just move on because maybe they don't have time to go back and think about, or maybe that's not their role to figure out what worked and what didn't work, or what we should do next time versus this time or whatever.
Yeah.
You ever think about that? Is that?
Yeah, no, and that's what I kind of made that comparison. A planner, and not every planner is like this, but a planner is hired for that one-off event or that one time, and then they're done. So they're, they're off-boarded, they completed the project. As a event strategist, we talk about, the before, during, and the after, but using it as that overall, part of your strategy for any type of business growth. And speaking of which, I don't know if you caught it, but I was on a panel discussion last week.
I was going to say that. I was going to say that next. Yes, Miss Tiffany was a guest on a podcast. A panel. It was you as three people, one moderator and two experts, experts, and Tiffany was one of the experts. Yeah, I did catch it. I wasn't able to make any comments, but or ask a question.
Oh man.
But no,
probably for the best.
It was good. Yeah, I mean, you did a great job. I thought you did a great job with your, all the stuff that you talked about, your experiences, and I'm like, oh, look at Tiffany up there.
Well, any chance I get to talk.
Huh? Say that again.
Any chance I get to talk about events.
Yeah, you talk. You were definitely talking. You definitely got your 15 minutes in.
But interesting enough, that was such a great timely topic because we were talking about corporate events. We were talking about strategy, and it was right up my alley. And shout out to Event Combo. I need to check into them a little bit more, but I love event tech companies, event resources that bring in planners to help elevate. That's what we're doing, right? We're elevating our visibility. And when they do that, those are the companies I'm going to look for to give my business. You know what I mean? So, they're doing something that maybe their competition isn't doing, and they're being more visible because they're giving a platform for us planners. So shout out to Event Combo. Really enjoyed the conversation about using events as in correlation with their sales team and their leads and the prospects. So it's basically, instead of one-on-one conversations, one of many using events, and really, really great conversation. And just a lot of nuggets. So I guess I'm still on, on that right strategy and, just driving that to everybody and making sure, like, do you have an event strategy? You need one.
Yes. No, you know what? I would think not a lot of people do that. They're not strategizing. They're not doing the strategizing. Yeah. They're just having the events with no thought of, this or that, or, the outcome, or what's the goal? What's the goal in mind?
Right.
Do this? So, but no, it was very good. So how did you get, how were you able to be a guest on that podcast?
They reached out.
How they find you?
Well, I'd like to say, okay, I'm going to expand my answer. I'd like to say that I am, working on my visibility and being top of mind and, being known for an event strategist and, doing a little bit more on LinkedIn. And then, we do this podcast every Mondays, and it's been on LinkedIn. It's been on LinkedIn. And they reached out on LinkedIn. So I do appreciate that, that outreach. And
so this stuff works? Are you telling me this stuff works?
You know what? I got to give it to you.
Huh. Interesting. And you were one, I think at the beginning of the year, I told you need to do more, creating more visibility for yourself. Wasn't it beginning of this year? I think somewhere around there.
All right. We don't have to go all. We won't have to do all that.
And see where we are now.
Yes, Russell, you did. So I know it's so funny. We're wrapping up at the end of the year. In the beginning, I was like, I did not want to do anything on camera. I was so resistant.
Yeah, now look at you, you're an expert. You're a seasoned pro now.
Look at that. All right. Yeah.
And Russell, all it took was me holding the gun to your head. So hey
whatever works.
Sometimes that happens.
Whatever works.
No, but it was good though. It was very good.
Thank you.
In fact, can they still see it? Is it still out there?
You know what? I will post the replay link. I haven't received it yet, so I will repost the link. So yeah, because it was recorded. Mm-hmm.
You should. That was very good.
Yeah.
Good. So what else is going on?
All right, you ready?
Ready for what?
You ready? Because I got some things to talk about. I got some things I wanted to bring to your attention. So we've mentioned this before about how hard, well, not hard, but how challenging it can be when you are sourcing sight unseen, right? Like you do it,
Yes.
I do it. We can't be everywhere. And unfortunately, the program I support is booking things sight unseen. So I say that when I heavily rely on the salesperson's perspective to walk me through, this makes sense for our event. So I want to, so last week, I want to bring this up to you because maybe it's me. And I settled into a hotel. I reached out, we're good. And you know what? A lot of these hotels do it. They'll send the meeting room, like just pictures, but not full specs, not, square footage, not where the layout. So it's always fighting with them to get the right, diagrams. So I'm selling with a hotel, and they said, based on your, RFP, this room would fit. And first I'm like, can I see some photos? And you know what? And I'm not even, mad about it, because this, honestly, it's been going on all year. This is this whole thing. So let me back up. I'll send the RFP, and they'll say, based on this, this is the room, this is the room rates, and this is the F&B minimum. And then that's it. And so I got to go be like, well, can I see the room? And so they'll say, they'll either send the diagram, or they'll send like the tour link. You know what I mean? That little interactive tour, which I still can't figure that out. It just doesn't do it for me. Okay. I don't know, that it's just not working. But long story short, I said, based on this room, can you mock up a diagram for, we need this particular, this is what we need. This is the setup. And I need to see if that setup will work in the room. And to which the salesperson replied, we typically don't do that until the contract is signed. Contract signed. And I'm like, wait, I need to know if this works before I sign a contract. So until I replied saying that as of that, I need to see if the room would work. And she replied to say, oh, okay, it's just something that we typically don't do. And I'm reaching out to you saying, like, is this happened in your career? Or am I crazy? Because this is something that should be a simple, yes or no for me to move forward. Don't laugh at me. I'm serious. I was hot.
You're hoping that I'm on your side on this one, right?
Well, you know what? Either way, if you're not on my side, I'm on my side. I only need to be on my side. But I say this to say, we said, like help us. Like, we're all together. Like, partner with us. My event is your event. I'm trying to book business with you. So do what you can. It's not to me, it wasn't a hard ask.
That's not asking a lot. That's asking them to do their job for the most part. If you're trying to sell, I mean, you've already almost committed to having your program there, right?
That part.
You just need a little bit more information just to confirm that, okay, this is the right choice. Based on, but you need to see the dimensions, if they put tables in it, how it's going to look. And a lot of times they have these tools where it's kind of a schematic where they can put tables, stage, everything in there. I can't think of what that program is called.
I know Social Tables does one. There's Social Tables.
It's something that's pretty easy to do.
It is.
My question is, are you talking to the salesperson or a convention services person? The person that would actually service it, or the one that's just selling it?
Oh, the salesperson. No, I get it. I get the salesperson is selling, but can that salesperson pull that person in and say, hey, you know the room?
They could.
I'm sure you get these requests all the time. I am not the first person who's asked for this basic diagram.
Yes. They could. Sometimes, because what they do is they're trying to get the signed contract, because once the signed contract is there, they turn it over and they have nothing else to do with that event for the most part. Okay. So yes, there has to be some communication between that salesperson and their convention services person, the person that would take over once that contract is signed.
Right.
So if they need to communicate, if he or she needs to ask that person forth. Can you give me a diagram based on this? I mean, it's nothing that's hard. It's nothing that they never done before, like you just said. It
Right.
just sounds like somebody's lazy, and I mean, and for them this, and for that person to say that they normally don't give this information until a contract is signed. No, they basically, she's saying once that contract is signed, I ain't got nothing else to do with this. That's basically what she was saying, or
Right.
he or she was saying.
Yeah,
You know?
right. Not
Yeah.
even contract drawn up. We're talking about a signed contract. At that
Yeah.
point, like if the room doesn't work, oh well.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It has to
And
work before you can get to that point.
right. And I think I was just thrown aback by, one, I don't know, the answer, the no, we can't, because come on now, planners, salespeople, we need to work together, right? We
Yes, we
like my
do.
event is your event. Like I need, especially if I'm sight unseen, I can't be there. I already have that anxiety. Like I got, I'm like, can you walk me through it? Can you show me some pictures? Can you do this? Can you be on my side? Why are we fighting? We're on the same side. I'm trying to give you this contract. I really am. I'm not shopping it. I landed on you. If this works, we're moving forward. So maybe that needs to
You
be
say all
clear.
those things? Did you
I
say
know.
all
I
those
was
things?
just about to say maybe that needs to be clear. Like, hey, we're landing on this.
Yes, you need to let them know exactly what's going on in your head, because
Mhm.
I can't get in your mind and say what you're thinking, right? So
Sure.
I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not offering excuses for this salesperson, right? Because I'm not,
Yeah.
and they should be forthright or forthcoming with information. But we have to, whatever stories in your head that you need to let them know, you need to, hey,
Yeah.
this is sight unseen. I've never been to your property before. My client is very interested in it, but I need to see this, and that to make sure it is going to work. And then, oh, okay. Oh my God, I didn't think about that. Okay, here's the information. Blah 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 blah.
You know what? Agreed. I
And
agree
even
with that.
hold on. And even the step further, even, and then this shows you that you know the layout of how they work, right? A salesperson is basically just selling rooms for the most part. Now, if there's space along with it, okay, that's just okay. We'll deal with that as well. I'll block the space or whatever,
Yeah.
but that's not their domain.
Yeah.
That is not their domain. Their domain is the room sales. The bulk of their responsibility is selling guest rooms.
Right.
Okay. So with that, but now you know that, right? You say, hey, I know this may not be your responsibility, but can you get somebody else involved in this, or can you ask someone, or blah blah blah, and then that way they know, like, oh my God, she knows what she's talking about. She's just not another fly by night meeting planner that doesn't know anything about how hotels operate, right? So there you go.
Okay, so I appreciate that. So you bring up a good point, because depending on the program, you got the salesperson for rooms and rooms only. But if you're doing rooms and meeting space, different. And then you have, the convention services manager who's handling all that. And then typically, if I'm doing no rooms, space only, you have a catering manager. So my question is, do all of those people operate differently as far as getting the sales? I mean, you have a sales manager that's just they're on top of things. They want to book the business. But then you have a catering manager that, leads the contract. Are they not on top of how the sales funnels work? Because I've had a lot of pushback from the titles of catering managers. They're like, oh, we
Well,
can't do that. We don't do that. And I'm like, wait, you do this. So that
see,
could be
that's okay. So a catering manager would come into play if you just have space only,
right.
not
Right.
rooms, no guest
Right.
rooms. Yeah. So I
But
mean, as
that's a
long
different
as,
relationship. That's a different conversation. That's a different, strategy, sales kind of,
yeah, as long as it fits their world, that's what they focus on.
yeah,
A convention services person has room experience as well as catering experience
sure.
together. Okay, so they have to deal with everything. They're dealing with payment, the contract, the logistics of everything, your move in day, your move out day, all that stuff. They're focused on a little bit of everything. But a catering person, for the most part, that's only space only, and you're only going to deal with them. Depending on how busy the hotel is, do they sell, or are they basically picking up the phone, order takers? So a
Sure.
lot of times, because if it's a busy hotel and they're busy with whatever, all these catering functions, a lot of them have to actually work those functions too. So it's not just the planning of it, they're working the function as well.
Yeah.
So I guess it just depends on which one you get or who you
And
get.
right. And so for me as a planner, I mean, I don't know the intricacies of your hotel. I just know that this program is this, and I'm giving you all of my details. And I've just noticed that there is a variation between, booking the sales and even the conversations. I have great sales managers that I talk to that, hey, I'll try to do this, or, I'm on it. And then you have conversations with, maybe not a sales manager, maybe a catering manager saying, no. And I'm like, wait, no. I'm not used to hearing just flat out no.
Wow.
So I'm like, wait a minute, are you guys trained the same? So I guess that's what I'm getting at. Like, how to have a conversation with a prospective client.
Well,
The no.
I can't speak for all of them, but I understand what you're talking about.
Come on.
I understand what you're talking about. They still should be helpful and sales. I mean, they should be selling the best features of it and letting you know all these things.
Sure.
But sometimes I don't know every hotel, right? But I know how some catering people can be when it comes to with their space, because and there's certain parameters where they can book within, because the group people handle most of the calendar as far as what they can book. They have a small window where catering, depending on the size of the hotel, they have a small window where they can book their events. So they're very precious and very guarded with that space, right? So sometimes you're going to get some people that are kind of, short with you, if you will, or they're not going to be real nice and friendly. I ain't trying to say everyone, all of them are like that. But I worked in 14 different hotels, right? Yeah. So I know probably half of the catering sales managers I work with, half of them had attitudes. Okay. Even internally, not, for the outside people. And their sales skills sometimes lead a lot to, they don't have a lot of sales skills. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to generalize all the catering people. There's some very good ones out there.
There are.
There's some that they're not good salespeople. Correct. I'll say that.
And I guess that's my point. That's what I was getting at, that, when you're evaluating why we lost the business. So for this particular hotel, it needs to be, we need to be in that city. And because it is the only full service hotel, we have to go there. But if it was a different program that, I was shopping, I would be like, I'm out. Like, as soon as she said, or as soon as that person had said, we don't typically do that. Oh, okay. And I would have moved on. Talk about a hotel and what the reason why we're losing business is because you're not partnering correctly with a planner. Let's work together. So if you're already resistant, God, I can only imagine how it's going to be on site. I'm going to only imagine how it is going to be during the process after contracts. Because once the contract's signed, they can do whatever. So if it's resistant before the contract,
that's an issue. That's an issue.
I'm putting it out there, hey, why are we losing? We have these contracts, we have these RFPs coming, but we're losing business. Evaluate, how are you interacting with these planners that are bringing RFPs to you?
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And a lot of times the people that they report to are not on those conversations.
Right.
So they don't know, all they can see are the numbers. Or did you book it? Yes or no? they don't know the why. Well, they may ask, well, what happened? Why did, oh, they chose another hotel. Well, why did they choose another hotel? So yeah. No, I understand. I
Yeah.
got you. Hey, I'm gonna have something's going on over here. So hold on one second, okay? So I'm gonna
All
mute
right.
for a minute, but you continue to talk, okay?
I'm going to talk to myself.
Can you hear me still?
I can hear you.
Well, that's not what I wanted to do.
All right. So Russell's leaving me to my own devices, which either way, I really value the relationships with salespeople. So it's not to say that I'm knocking all salespeople, or I'm not knocking all catering managers as well. It's just that these relationships are to be nurtured, because at the end, I want to bring back repeat business. And depending on the program, you know I want to be confident that I can, recommend or use a venue that I've worked with in the past that understands the needs, especially when you're talking about corporate programs. There's very specific needs that need to happen that are, beyond my control, because I am, at the end of the day, I report to stakeholders. It's not my final decision. So I want to be a partner in that, but it has to be a great relationship between the planner and the hotel and the venue. So
You're right.
And then Russell's back.
Yes, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is very interesting. But yeah, so
Yeah.
hotels, yeah, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter what their positions are, what their titles are. Bottom line, you're the planner, you have business in your hand for that hotel. So whatever it takes for them to get it, they need to offer it. And we have to be proactive instead of reactive. So
Sure.
if you know that person has never been in that hotel before, so you have to walk them through the process, walk them through what's going on. Every hotel may have a different process. So what is the process for this? But be forthcoming with your information as well. Say, hey, I'm planning this. We've done this before in the past. I've never been to your hotel before. So I'm going to kind of need you to walk me through this process. And these are things I'm going to need. And, some people are like, oh yeah, no problem. I have those right now. I can get those right now. I email them. Can I have your email address? I'll go ahead and email those back to you right now. So some people will be like that, but then the other people like, well, this and that and blah, blah, blah. Oh, we can't do that. And who knows how they were trained to say that, right? Someone obviously said that to them. And that's not a good way to be trained, or to even let the client know that, well, we don't normally give out information. What? Huh? That's stupid.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
And then it's crazy because that's all I hear. So
wait. That's all you hear. What do you mean?
It's like we don't normally do this. So like after you said that, now I'm just like, oh, you don't want to work together, because I heard we don't normally do this. Because it's even about the language that you say. You know what? Let me check on that. Okay. You know what? I'm not too familiar on how to do it. So let me. Oh, okay, cool. But to bring it back on me, the language needs to change. But I know I beat this down. I do want to bring up something you said. Something you said about delivering, and what it is about this day and age. You should be able to have things to provide someone who has never been to your hotel. And it's something that you talk about all the time, the branding and the visibility. And why don't you have photos of an event that's already set up? Why am I looking at a floor plan? So now I have to ask you, how does it look with 2 screens instead of 1? Because you haven't sent me anything. And how easy is it to go in and do a room setup? And come on, you're a hotel. You do events several times a week. How hard is it to snap a photo of that room setup of rounds? Because you're going to have people say, hey, I'm looking to book a room and it's going to be in all rounds. Hey, I'm looking to book a room and it's going to be all classroom. And instead of sending them in addition to sending the spec sheet about how many, the capacity, send an actual live photo, send some video, send something, like to your point, like you said, we have not been to the hotel.
Yes.
Help me visualize what that looks like. And that's what I mean about that partner relationship. Because when I bring this RFP to you, it should be like, my event is your event. So walk me through it. How long does it take to get from the front door to the event? Is it further back? And that will cut down a lot of questions. Because, I think I ask about 120 questions per event because because I'm not provided with the information all at once.
Yes.
And so it's this email back and forth or this phone conversation that's, people don't remember the details. But an image, a video, hell, you can send me to your YouTube link. Like, hey, you know what? I got all the setups on here. Cool. I will go in on my own and look at it. But having some representation and showing your hotel through your eyes to have someone who hasn't been there comfortable enough to book. Right?
You're right. I agree. So sometimes salespeople they look at a client as one size fits all. You know what I mean? Like everyone knows this. Everyone should know that. Well, no, that's not true. So yeah, you have to tailor your pitch, your sales pitch or whatever around the person. If they don't know things, then you got to go back. Okay, they never been here before. Okay, let me approach this way. You know what I mean? It can't be one way for everybody because everyone's different. Some people have been to your hotel. Some people are familiar. Some people are not. So you have to handle each, just like in life, we handle people differently based on, what we get from them, the reaction we get from them. So we have to reply, differently sometimes. So, So yeah,
but you know what? Even a virtual site tour. I love me a good site tour. But you're doing this, quite often as a sales manager. You're doing a site tour. So what is it to say that you're doing a virtual one? Because I think, I feel like hotels are still not modernized enough with like technology because they think that the virtual site tour is sufficient. And I don't know if you use those, but let me tell you, you're scrolling through and you're trying to click on the door to get in, and then but you want to see the whole layout, but you can't,
No,
so I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
I don't like those. I don't. To be honest with you, I don't like those.
I think they're just dated. They're so dated. I think someone came in and sold them to them and said this will be great. But
that's exactly it. But guess what? A lot of the people that work at the hotels don't even look at them, so they don't know some of the. Maybe you can't see certain angles or whatever.
Right.
They don't even look at them, so they don't know what the client. It's something easy for me to get away from my desk and you here. I'll send it to you and call me when you're ready to book. Well. We need, meaning people, the hotel people need to look at those as well. And if it doesn't work, if it doesn't show every angle, well, then that's not helping out your property. That's not helping out your space, right? So maybe you need to, table that or get rid of it and redo it or whatever. But those things are so expensive. They spend so much money doing those things and they think it's the end all be all and they don't have to sell anymore. It's going to sell itself. No, you're still going to have a human connection. Okay. And and you're right now, we're talking about that because there's a lack of human connection within the hotel industry or within meetings sometimes. And we think that we could just throw out these links and all that stuff and everything is going to be okay. Well, no, that's not the case.
No, it doesn't function. And even so, it's like you can't throw it out and then just leave it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So here, I'm throwing that out there. That was for free. Virtual site tour, something. And like you said, humanizing it. Because you know what? My favorite part of a site tour is the information I get. I get like my little secrets and tidbits and, and it's something that I don't get if I would to, Google or research. So, I feel like I'm getting the tea when I do a site tour. They'll be like, just so you know, Uh, we got a renovation, this and that, or just so you know, if you do a group, these are the rooms you get, not these rooms. So like, I eat it up on a site tour, and I just feel like that same, way of doing things, providing information, being a resource, humanizing, like you said, liking the salesperson, and then I get like great tips. They'll be like, well, if you need some location tips, this restaurant, down the street is the best, yada yada, say my name, and you get like little different things that you just get in person. Kind of bring that back. So that's my personal reason why I like a site tour, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's elevating the brand. It's elevating everything that, that you need to see. Maybe they're suggesting things that you didn't even think of.
Ooh, I did a site tour recently, Kimpton Gray in Chicago. God, they have such a scent when you walk in, and it just smells like Kimpton Gray. And and I comment about that. I'm like, I love your hotel. Every time I come in, it smells great. It's like, oh, we sell the scent. How would I know that? I don't see that on your website. And then he's like, I was like, oh, this would be great. He was like, yeah, we can do little mini things. And he's like, oh, we can probably do some gifting. Oh, now you're speaking my language. You know what I mean? So that was part of a conversation. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh. I mean, I know maybe you don't care, but it's a great smelling hotel. Let me tell you.
No, that became a thing. Who used to do that first? I want to say this is Starwood back in the day, before Starwood became part of Marriott. Yeah, a couple of their hotels. I don't know if it was a Sheraton or maybe W. I can't remember, but they would have. It was known that you walk in, you're going to get this one specific scent, and it was people were going crazy over it. And then next thing you know, they started selling the scent. They actually sold not just the scent, but the little machine that it comes with, right? Because it's a machine that basically
was it like a diffuser or something?
Yeah,
else?
a diffuser. Yeah. There you go. I'm glad you said that, because I couldn't come up with the term.
I was like, can I still get it? But that
it's
was
positioned
great.
somewhere in the lobby. You would never see it because it's out of the way. But yeah. I mean, so every hotel that you walk in, W or Sheraton or whatever it was, they had the same scent. You would walk in, and that way you get familiar with that. You come to expect it. When I walk into a Sheraton, I expect this scent, right? And then you go to the room, maybe be a different scent or whatever. So yeah, they started selling them, and here we are today. This goes back probably, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago when this.
Well, I mean, I know they weren't the first to do it, but yeah, just something like that, having a conversation about that. One other site tour I went to, again, it was a certain scent, and the salesperson commented that they work with a mom and daughter home-based business, and they partner with them. So now I'm like, hold on, like, you guys support small businesses. And if I'm choosing between one hotel and the other, that might be the one that leads the pack, just because, hey, I know you support this community. So I guess that's my point of having those conversations when you have site tours. If you can't have a site tour, being able to communicate that when we do make that initial contact via email. What are you doing to set apart yourself, setting yourself apart from other hotels? Because I think a lot of sales managers, like, they're in that mind to sell. They're like 13,000 square feet, this and that. But to your point, more of a human touch, more of a community feel, more of a,
storytelling, more storytelling.
Anything, put that in there, because those are helpful. I mean, nowadays we're not just booking space, we're booking, venues that make sense for the program, and it's not a one size fit all, Yes,
you're correct. Very good, Tiffany. Look at you. You're on a roll today.
Just saying. Just giving you my tidbits.
You're on a roll today.
Yeah, I know some things, but yeah. I just thought, okay, so I'm glad that you see it my way. I'm glad we didn't have to cut this show short.
You are too much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it
glad you have the
makes
best.
sense. It make what you're telling
Yeah,
me makes sense, and
right,
I'm all about, although I did come from that side, but I know that things don't always go the way they should go. I mean, and all salespeople are not the same either, right? So you're gonna get some good ones, and you can get some ones that are kind of average, and you're gonna get a lot that are subpar, which is not good. And yeah, and sometimes if anytime you gotta pull things out of somebody,
right.
once you're leading them down this path, right? But then you still have to pull things out. Well, then they're not really good salespeople. They may be good at what other things that they do, but as far as selling, that's not their forte. Because I mean, you get people that they make their numbers, they do this, but they're just not good salespeople.
Mm,
They're not good. They're not personable. They're not, they don't ask a lot of questions of the client. They're not trying to build relationship. It's more
exactly that part.
transactional, and that's not a good thing. In these days, you need people with personality. You need people that want to tell the story, want to, they don't have a problem with being visual with the stuff that they have to sell. I mean, or offering suggestions or whatever. That's what you need That's what separates one hotel from the next. That person, it does. It's not about the properties, because hotels have meeting space, they have rooms, they got restaurants, they got all
Sure.
that. The main difference are the people. That's it. Who you dealt with and how helpful they were with you. Now, there's going to be some situation where I don't want to be at this hotel because hasn't been renovated and it shows. Okay, that's something totally different, right?
Right.
But a lot of time it does come down to the people or the person that's actually selling you. And if they don't hit that right spot on you, you're like, you know what, I'm good.
Like you summed it up. That's how I feel. I mean, I'm good. Well, and to your point, you hit it. You hit it on the head with the relationships. Because why do we do what we do? Why are we going to all of these events and conferences? Why are we, being invited to things? It's like that relationship, and we want to work with people that are easy to work with, like for real, like and get it. I have a job to do, and I have people to answer to. Just get it. Just make it easier. So I mean, that's me. That's why I'm heading to, you know revving up my 2026 calendar of going to these events, and people are like, why do why am I always seeing you here, or why are you doing this? Because it's like those relationships matter. And like I said, I know some really fantastic salespeople that, okay, I know I need to work with you. Let me see if I get a program here. And so now you're shifting the program to them just because it's going to be a great experience, and you're crossing your fingers and you're hoping that they don't leave and go somewhere else between now and your program, because that's a whole other conversation when your favorite salespeople leave. Man, that's like a breakup. That's like you go in and you're like, oh, okay, where's Susie? Oh, Susie went on to somewhere else. Nah. I need Susie back. but yeah, so that relationship building between planners and salespeople, suppliers, DMCs, everyone is so vital. It really is.
You're right. You are absolutely right. That's everything. Like they say,
Yeah,
oh, it's everything. It is everything. The
it really
relationship
is.
that you
Yeah.
build. And just to jump on what you said, you meet all these people at these conferences or shows that we attend. And the thing that gets me is that when that person that you met with, they're actually not your contact.
Oh, oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt.
So you spend this time with that person, and they say, "Oh, where are you located? Oh, I'm in whatever California. Oh no, I'll have to introduce you to Bob, and Bob's not here, but I'll introduce you to Bob. We don't know Bob, okay? I don't know
Oh,
Bob. I spent
oh,
all this time with Mary, and now Mary is
right,
telling me that she's going to introduce me via email to Bob.
right. You already poor Bob. Poor Bob is already in the doghouse. Not because he did anything wrong. It's just because we were kikiing up with Mary.
Exactly.
Oh
Exactly.
man, that's
Yeah,
the oh, it hurts. It
that's the
hurts.
thing that gets me. And I always say, well, damn, it seems like hotels, I mean, because hotels, for the most part, their sales teams are either market based or geographical. Okay, so geographical
Right.
location, whatever.
Yeah.
Where's the contract going to be signed? Where's
Right.
this? You know what? We just need to be in the business of people. If I meet somebody at a show, I own that, well, not own that person, but I'm responsible for that person. I'm that person's go-to. So there has to be some, we have to get out of
Yeah.
that same mindset that we've been doing for the last 40 years. I'm saying 40. I ain't been around 40 years in the hotel space, but the last 30 years, okay? The
Sure.
last
Sure.
30 years, we need to get out of that mindset. If you go to a show, you meet someone and they want to book, they book with you. Okay, regardless of, there has to be some, okay, because I went to this show, I'm responsible for that person or for
Yeah.
these particular people that
Yeah.
were at this.
Especially if you initiate the relationship. So
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
made me like you, and now you're saying that me
Exactly.
and Bob need to be. So I think I agree with you, but I understand. I don't know the intricacies of how it's divided, because what if Bob never goes to shows? Does that mean he never gets any leads? And Mary got like 700 leads because she's always at the shows. So I don't know how that works.
We don't care about that. You don't
Yeah,
care.
I
You
know,
shouldn't care about that.
but I'm just
You
saying
should care that if
you're
you would met Mary, you fell in love with Mary. Okay. What happens at that hotel? It happens at that hotel. Maybe Bob goes to other shows. Maybe he just didn't go to that show.
I
Okay.
feel like there should be exceptions. I feel like, okay, yeah,
That's an exception.
normally this will happen, but then I come in and be like, Mary, I want to work with you, only you. And I feel like that should be the exception. If
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
you know,
No,
you
that's
know.
what I'm saying. If you, because you don't fall in love with the hotel because you don't see the hotel. You're not
Right,
there.
right.
Okay. You're falling in love with the person who's
Yeah,
representing that hotel. Okay.
yeah.
So for people out there that think that, oh, we fall in love with the hotel because the hotel don't do anything for us. That doesn't offer hospitality. It's someone else that's doing that. There's a person that's doing that. Okay.
Oh my God. We just said the video and hotel matters. Now you're like, forget that. It's the people.
It is the people, but the people have to show the space. Once you're there, or maybe you're not there, they have to be able to sell it. They sell the dream, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
it's a person. The hotel's not going to sell the dream. It's how
Yeah.
that person presented it to you.
Right.
That's what it comes down to. It still comes down to the relationship that you built. Okay.
Yeah.
The space, do they have the space, the ample space that you want? Are they showing you the ample space that you need? Okay, that's something else. But a person has to do that. The hotel's not going to call you up and say, hey, come over for lunch and I'll show you the space.
Right.
The hotel's
And
not
I'm
going to
here.
do that.
Here.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, I agree. I mean, we're in the people business, So
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, I think that I've always, because even back when I was a salesperson, I would go to these shows and I made it a point, even before it was a thing that, we had to turn it over to someone else. I said, no, when I go to these particular events, I want to make sure I have those clients. Those are my clients. I'm not going to give them up to someone else. No, I'm the one that has a relationship. This is long before a relationship was a thing. You're just trying to just sell stuff. I'm like,
yeah.
it doesn't make sense. So, yeah. So I'm just saying that we need to get out of that. That's an old way of thinking. We need to change up. If you're going to shows, I don't care what's going on at the hotel. We need to own those people. Everybody ain't going to book out of that. We ain't going to come back with a lot of business anyway. Okay.
Oh.
So let's
Right.
be real here. Okay. If I met with 20 appointments, I had 20 appointments, you think I'm going to come back with 20 contracts or 20?
Right.
No,
Right.
it's not going to work. So one or two clients is not going to change anything. Okay, at a hotel. So that's why I'm saying I've been there. I know. Okay, so that's why I'm saying whoever you meet or whoever gets to that point where, okay, I want to book your hotel. okay, regardless of the market segment, because a lot of times they're separated by market segment or geographical location. Regardless
Yeah.
of that, I went to XYZ destination Midwest. Okay, I'm taking this. I'm taking all this stuff that I'm getting from there. Boom, boom. It's just a simple conversation with the director of sales, and then to make it happen.
There you go. You gave them the blueprint.
Mm.
Yep. And you make your planner happy, because now we happy.
Exactly.
Because
Isn't
Lord
that what
knows,
it's all about?
me and Bob, we're not even working together, because see, now the
Yeah.
relationship's already off. So
Exactly.
preserve the relationship from the start.
Yes, yes. Mary,
Right?
me and Mary are working together. Bob, I don't care
Exactly.
about Bob, who I'll never
Poor
meet
Bob.
in life. Okay, so
Poor
no,
Bob.
no.
But
I
no,
don't
you
care
have a
about-
good point. I get that all the time. Those email intros, and it's just like, but you don't even know the whole conversation I had with Mary, because I talked for 12 solid minutes. She knows
we
my
know.
horoscope
Yes,
sign.
we know.
She
We
knows
know.
that I visited this, but I was a child, so it don't count. So now I can't even reference my story with Bob. I'm poor Mary. Mary knows my life story. I'm telling you. Gosh, that hurt. As soon as you said that, it hurt. It hurt my heart, because that's exactly how we feel. The pain we feel when we have to be, it's almost like you don't matter. It's like, oh, I'm passing you off. It hurts, y'all. So hey, anybody that's listening, director of sales, it hurts. It really does. It hurts emotionally.
They know. Believe me, this conversation has come up many times.
Do they?
And they always just, because of the market segment. And like I said, no one can think outside the box. Everybody is in this, because my boss told me, I'm telling the next person this. It's that whole mentality. No, we can change that. You control it. You control it. Have a meeting that, one of those weekly meetings that you guys have in sales all the time. Everyone knows who goes on these sales trips. Just let them know, hey, the new thing starting in 2026. If you go to a trade show or a conference or whatever, and you have one-on-one appointments with somebody, you meet somebody, you own that account. That's it. Boom.
Boom.
Done. Because like I said, when you look at the numbers of how much business is coming out of it, it ain't gonna be that much anyway. It's not gonna be that much where it's gonna tilt the scale like, oh my God, he or she has an unfair advantage because they went to this one conference and they got 10 leads and all 10 leads went to contract. No, that's not gonna happen.
Oh, okay. That is a good perspective. Okay.
See, that's my job, to put things in perspective, but I cannot put it in perspective if I've never been there before, right? So I know exactly how I've been in those conversations where I wasn't able to keep something, and I had to advocate for myself, and I finally did, and I won. I'm like, okay. I mean, it doesn't make sense for us to go there and develop a relationship. That's when that whole relationship started coming in. I wouldn't even think about that, but it came up that way. I'm like, I'm the one that's meeting these people, building this relationship, having this rapport. And then like, they finally got it, like, bing, maybe there's some merit to that. So, I mean, we just have to fight for stuff. And sometimes like I said, we just get so used to the same thing over and over again. And we stop fighting for stuff. We just like, okay, because that's the way it is, we're going to accept it. No, not at all. So that's just me. You asked, it came up that way. So I'm going to share my information with you. So there you go. So you have more. See, you have some stuff that you can present to these people now. See, because
I can present.
I'm giving you both perspectives. I'm giving you all this perspective from being on property. Although you haven't been on property before, I'm giving you the perspective that I come from, right? So there you go.
I appreciate. And this is why, I come to you and be like, hey, is this a me thing? Is this me being a little too sensitive? Or is this an overall like, oh no, they need to do their job better? So I feel like, yeah, you get it. And the fact that you get both sides. I mean, you can you left that hotel side, but as a planner, you're like, this is what needs to happen. This is what I need.
Yes.
So no, I do. I appreciate that. And of course you're passionate about this and these and owning those relationships. I mean, we're saying the same thing. Yeah.
That's what it's
Right.
all about. It's bottom line. Yeah. You need a relationship because this is the thing. This is how I look at it. the relationship you're building, say if you did book one particular hotel where you built this relationship from one of these conferences that you went to, you're looking for multiple. You're not just looking for just a one and done kind of thing. You want to work with them over and over again, right? Because it's easy. They know you, they know your program. And on the salesperson side, you should want that because it's easier to rebook something than to start all over again and try to, find some more business. In fact, salespeople should do multiple year contracts. They should always present a multiple year contract.
You know what? Wow. It's so funny you say that, Russell, because still to this day, I've not had a sales manager reach out and be like, hey, what are we doing next year? Or, hey, do you have anything for next year? And we're talking about 27 separate properties. Not one has reached out. So either they don't want the business, like maybe, I don't know. I wasn't on site, so maybe we were difficult. I don't know.
But do they call you after the fact? Like after, because you're the reason why they went to that hotel, right? So they don't ever call and just follow up with you?
There have been a few. I would say California did great. We did three California locations in all of them. But my last contract even was the communication kind of stopped. And then, well, you know what I do get? I get the email about like, here's your final bill. Thank you for your booking.
Oh my goodness.
That's where it ends. It's not even like, hey, do you have anything coming up? So here's the thing. I, as an independent planner, as someone who can dip in different, programs for different clients, do I have anything else? That's never been asked. I find that interesting because, we built a rapport, how I work.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, do you have anything else? No, it's that that final email is like, well, here is the final bill. Here's what's owed, or here's what's due. And thank you for your business. And that's it. So it's really interesting that it's more of a one-off. And I'd like to say that, maybe it's because, it's a franchise hotel, but no, it's both.
That should not matter.
No, I know, but I think sometimes the sales managers.
Well, why'd you say that then?
Well, because sometimes the franchise managers, they're because they're not on property, they kind of communicate a little bit differently. So I just wanted to, evaluate. They do. I've noticed, or they take longer to answer back. I've noticed that with franchise properties. But
what are the brands of these properties?
What do you mean?
What's the brand? What type of hotel is it? A Marriott?
These are Marriott, but it's they don't have the Marriott email. They're like so and so at
Cambridge or something like that.
Something like travel hospitality or something. Okay. So I've had a lot of, especially I have smaller markets. I did something in it's not that small, but something in Columbus or Cleveland. Okay. But I just noticed the communication is different because they they have talked about they're not on property. And they manage other properties. They manage, a Marriott, and they'll do a DoubleTree. So they have different brands under their umbrella. So I don't know because they're, going back and forth. So that's why I mentioned it because, maybe they're just kind of caught up on another brand or something.
That shouldn't even matter. I know people
shouldn't, but I'm just saying they all
don't offer excuses. Don't offer them excuses. Don't give them excuses to offer you.
They all communicate. That final email is not a follow-up. It's more of a, end of project reconsolidation.
Okay, even they want repeat business. They just need
I can't tell. I can't tell.
Okay, we'll see. Okay, see, so it doesn't matter if there's a franchise or if it's a corporate or management company, whatever. It doesn't matter. They should still be asking for, how did things go? What's the possibility of us rebooking it? Oh, we would love to rebook your program.
I have not
Why are
had
they asking you that? It doesn't
I have
matter
not had that question, that
because it still
specific
makes their
question.
jobs easier. They still have goals for next year. They say if it's not till next year, they got goals for next year as well. So yeah, so shame on the hotel salespeople for not
It seems
doing
like
that.
they can use some hotel consulting or something, or have someone come in to tell them, because I have yet to have that particular question asked. I'm telling
That's
you.
that's disheartening. That is really it's just disheartening. It hurts my heart right here. Okay, my heart is broken to hear that
Yeah.
because the best way, or is it the easiest way? What's am I trying to say? To rebook is when they're at the property. So say say the salespeople are there and you're on property. The best way or the easiest way to rebook something is when they're still there. You go there
Yeah.
and say, and I remember some people, they'd walk up, some of the sales managers I learned from, they would already have a contract for the next year, dates and everything ready to be signed or to take with them.
You know
That's
what?
what they were so on top of it. That's what they would do. That's what I learned from. That's the people that I learned from. So they would have they would do like a what do you call it? A post conversation, a post meeting, whatever. And then they would be all in the room, whatever. Well, what's going to get you to sign for next year? We're ready. We already have a contract for you because if everything went well and perfect and everything, they're ready to. If they're not going to sign right then, they're at least going to take that with them. Okay, it's on the top of their mind. I mean, there's some cold salespeople out there. I mean, cold as in good, that they know their shit, and they
Yeah.
know if the program went well and they know it, they're going to capitalize on that. They've already asked for the dates for the next program. They've done all those things. And they're like, okay, we're having this, what do they call it? Post-con. So it's a pre-con before the convention starts and a post-con after, right? So
Mhm.
depending on how big this program is, but yeah, they would have a kind of a debriefing, if you will. They would
Yeah.
go over things that worked, maybe things that didn't, but ultimately everything was great. Like, oh my God, we would love to have you back. And they like, boom, they present this contract
Like,
for the next year. Right? So
hey, I'm not mad at that.
not at all.
That's
Not at all.
that and it's so funny you say that, because why wouldn't you? We know you're in the business of sales. Like, it's weird because those are some missed opportunities. Why wouldn't you? And I'm remembering a few locations where on-site team was like, this is fantastic. I mean, our screens are lovely. Like, they just kept praising it, where that could have been an opportunity to be like, well, I'm glad you like it. So now that we know your setup and we know what you like, what there's those conversations have not been happening. So I don't know. I mean, I gather the information from you because you're back in the day, you're old school. So I don't know if things have changed, because I am not getting that same, thing that you're presenting. I'm not.
Well, yeah, I am old when it comes to how
I'm
we used
just
to do
saying. I
things. Yeah,
mean,
yeah, I'm old school,
things have
but
changed a little bit.
But this is the thing. No, 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 no. Selling is selling. It's all about the relationship, right? It's all about that relationship. And they still want to rebook that same piece of business that was just there. So who wouldn't want to do that? Who
Right.
wouldn't want to rebook something that you already know the program? The hotel's been exposed to it. All the players know those players, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy, like an annual event. Oh, they're going to be back next year. Oh, we look forward to seeing you. Oh my God. That stuff gets around that hotel and people get excited about it because we know on this week, this big group that we just had last year, they're coming back. And we know that they loved us and we loved them. They're easy to work with or whatever the case may be. Believe me, that goes around that hotel. That's contagious. So for a salesperson not to capitalize on that, they're missing the boat. They're missing they missed that. They've slept in sales 101 or whatever, sales
Well, and I think
200.
that's my point. Are they getting sales 101? And that's, I guess, my point about things changing. Like maybe the
Okay,
training is
well,
different.
we've been on this, and I hate to cut us off here, but we've been
Yeah.
an hour and 5 minutes. Okay, so table that, write this
Oh,
down,
okay. Gotcha.
table that for next time. We can talk
Okay.
about, are they being trained or whatever. And a lot of things that you said earlier, when you said franchise versus like a corporate, whatever, that comes into play when it comes to training.
Okay.
Okay, so a lot of times they're relying on the experience that you're bringing in. Okay, not the experience that you're going to get while you're here, but if you've already been trained somewhere else, come over here and we want you, because we can't train you here. We want you because you already know your information, right? We don't want you coming over here and think you're going to get trained, because a lot of times that's not the case. And that's even some of the big companies that used to. I went through a training with Marriott, right? They don't do it anymore. It's called a individual development training program with Marriott years ago. Well, they stopped doing it. I'm like, that was the best thing for them to do. They stopped their outreach to colleges. They're not doing it like they used to. They used to do, job fairs and stuff like that on college campuses. A lot of that stuff is stopped. So, but anyway, we can talk about that later. But those are, if you want to ask those questions me next time, that would be great. But
Let's do it.
yeah, but I think we covered a lot today. And in fact, yeah, we did, because we're like at an hour and 6 minutes and we didn't even notice that the time was ticking like that. So anyway, but thank you. I want to thank everybody for joining this, either on the live or on the replay. We appreciate it. Every Monday is Monday going to be on for us next Monday, or
Yeah.
What's Monday?
Yeah, Monday's good.
Okay, so yeah, so we devote Mondays to Miss Tiffany English, so she comes on and shares all her information or her experiences, and she asked me if I'm going to side with her on some of these things. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but we have to see. We have to see. But anyway, that is it. Have a great week. Remember, tomorrow On Air with Russell Off Hotels comes on at 1:00 PST. I have a guest on, Mr. Jim Schichter. He's CEO of, I want to say, Wrigley Management. Wrigley Management is a management. He does asset management for some hotels. So we're going to talk about that. And he's actually the person that was responsible for me being a general manager. So he's been on the guest before, but it was years ago when I first started doing this. So we're going to have him back on, and we're going to talk about that, and as well as his new role and his new company and all that stuff. So that's it. So until then, you guys have a great day. Thank you so much, Tiffany.